If you're tired of the standard business and marketing fundamentals, frameworks, and funnels, you need a little mischief. Get ready to turn up the volume on the CEO Mischief Maker podcast, where you access conversations with seasoned business owners who have smashed through mindset barriers, innovated the standard boring business and marketing playbooks, and executed future-paced strategies with bleeding-edge tools and tactics to micro-fail their way into massive success and growth. We are Mindset Impact Strategic Catalysts helping innovative entrepreneurs focus. We are CEO Mischief Makers. Ready to make a little mischief? Okay, here we go about really the part that I geek out about. And welcome back to the conversation with Zac Hansen and I. And we get to dive into strategy and tactics. And if you've listened to the two other episodes that Zac and I have had, you are perfectly positioned for this. But let's set the stage if you haven't, and start talking about the fact that we're going to talk about automation and specifically evergreen ads. So, Zac, you started talking about this framework that you have, and I swear my mind kind of went off into the space and the outer space and the ether when you mentioned that there's 1,500 points, and I'm like, tilt. Yeah. My mind just tilted. Okay, tell me more about this.
For sure. So, for context as well, and definitely listen to the last episode, but we talked about, my goal was I wanted to be able to help a client manage their ads in 1 to 2 hours a week, and not just spending like $50 a day, spending anywhere between 500 to 1,000 plus, because if you're spending about $1,000 a day on ads, that's very easy to manage. Once you start going over that, you need to do a lot more stuff. So I love that $1,000 a day, and it brings in a nice profit as well. So if your things are working. So what I was doing was I realized that a lot of the traditional advertisers, they follow the approach of, well, let's launch one image with one piece of text and one headline, and let's cross our fingers and hope it works. And so, and I'm thinking, well, I love to just test stuff. And I also I don't want to be lazy, but I like to be a slacker in the sense that I want the automation to do as much as humanly possible for me. And the really nice thing about Facebook nowadays is that the automation is so good. They have, I don't know how many thousands of data points on every single person, that you're able to literally just throw a lot of creatives at it and it can figure it out. And so what I invented and started using was this process called evergreen ads. And what this process is it's creating about 1,500 data points or different ad variations. And this typically will take about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours the most, where we will feed Facebook about 10 different images, 5 different pieces of text copy, 5 different headlines, 5 different descriptions, maybe a few call to actions. And we're going to just let Facebook figure out what is going to work best for us. And by doing this, the cool thing is I did this again about a month and a half ago for a client. We're now spending around $1,000 a day, and we still have ads running from a month ago. We haven't had to refresh the images or do any of that, because what Facebook will do is they say, okay, well, I think this image and this headline will work best for this person. And so they'll show that variation to someone, and then they'll show another variation to someone based on that. And so whenever I log in my newsfeed, I see the ads because, of course, I'm pixeled to heck on that page. And it's always a different image, always a different creative combination. So it looks like we're constantly refreshing our creatives. But in reality, it's just something we set up a month ago. So it's a really cool system. And the nice thing is, because you have so many creative combinations and Facebook can quickly figure out winners, it's a really great testing strategy, first and foremost, because you can throw 10 different images and videos together and see what works best. And then you can say, okay, well, this tile of headline works best. Let's make 5 more variations of this one. And you kind of have this quantum effect that just rolls over month after month. And the other thing that's cool about it as well is it's really easy to scale. So, I mean, one of our audience, I think, is 20 million people right now. And it's just open targeting, I don't even care. It's just go find people Facebook and it will. So I can dive into that however you want, Mary, but it's a really simple strategy. that works well.
Okay, so you're talking about coaches and course creators. Yeah, let's dive into that because this blows my mind. And of course, the very little I know about Facebook ads, I know not to just do one image, one piece of copy, and just hope that works, right? I know very little I know about this. I know not to do that. So at least I'm ahead of the game in that sense. But so let's say I've got an assessment. Okay, let's say I'm a health coach or a mindset coach or something like that. And I've got an assessment that I want to send people to, or a quiz of some kind. Would your kind of ad work to send people to something like that? Or is it to a product?
No, it works. It really works for anything. So the only thing that really changes is the way I write the ads is they're definitely longer. So it's very long copy in the sense, which if you follow the framework, it's really not hard to write. But the goal is that someone could pretty much read the ad, and there's multiple places they could click links to it, so they don't have to read the whole thing. But they have enough information that they could pretty much just go to the product page and buy. So it's not like just someone clicking to the page and then totally cold. They have no idea what the heck this is. And so, if you're using it for running to guides, like as freebie offers or free challenges or whatever mechanism you're using, it really doesn't matter. This style ad can work, and you might just want to like shrink or adjust parts of the copy based on what you're doing.
Got it. Yeah. So when I'm saying an assessment, that's kind of almost like an application, right? So if I'm at more of a high ticket coach and I'm going to I'm going to want to do more of a high ticket where I need them to take this assessment to make sure that they qualify. Then I could send them to that and have them take the assessment and see if they qualify. And the copy could get them set up for that so that they don't even click to take the assessment if the copy doesn't resonate with them and show them what they're going to do, right?
For sure. Yeah. And so like there's three core funnels I see working really well if you're wanting high ticket sales. And so the first is doing what we do, which is like having some sort of low cost $7 to $27 product on the front end. And you're all familiar with that model. The other way is using some sort of lead magnet funnel. So these seem to be working really well at this time, where you should be getting about 10 to 15% of people that opt in for your freebie or scheduling phone calls. And then the other is running direct to Facebook group. And there's pros and cons to each of them. Of course, I'm very biased. I like to make money on the front end and get clients at the same time. But that's a different direction. The point about this is that you could use this style of an ad for any of them. The only thing that would change is that for a product, for example, I might have a section in there that says, hey, and we have some awesome testimonials. Here's a testimonial. You're also going to get this sweet bonus, right? And so having all in the ad. The core way I primarily write these is, and I'll explain how the variations works, because it's a really cool, really cool way that I actually learned from a really great marketer called Mike Renard back in the day, and modified it to my own version. But what it basically is you write kind of like a really good hook at the top, and I call this a head turner. It's like something that grabs attention, because if you think about ads, it's normally that top line is what you'll decide whether you'll keep reading it or not. And so my favorite ones I love to use are dialogue lines, and this is so underutilized. But throwing like if you have like, again, client application forms, if you do applications for your service, like going through those and seeing what the problems are, I'll literally like pull that out, modify it out a little bit, and then I'll put like an arrow and say like, this is a true story from a client, and then talk about the problem they were in, and then and then kind of go into more of the solution, talk about the unique solution, show the benefits, like link. And if it's for if you're giving a freebie, that might all be you need. If you're doing a product, then I'd throw in like a little bit more explainer. I'd talk about if there's any bonuses, throw in a testimonials, end with a guarantee, and then say like, here's the link one last time.
Wow. And so in that sense, so basically your ad is basically like your landing page, your sales page for that
exactly
product.
Your goal with it is there's enough info there that you can either get someone really excited. Like, you don't want someone that just clicks and goes to the page, like, because clicky users, actually, they don't buy regularly. So looking at all those numbers isn't really a good indicator. But if you're giving a freebie or something, like, you want someone so excited to enter their name and email, right? And that's your goal. And the way what we do is actually the really easy way we duplicate this. And so it's like to turn it into 1,500 variations really quick. Yes, you have to write 5 individual headlines. But once you have your kind of core ad, the only thing you need to change is that top head turner is what I call it. So like, let's say I have one that's using a dialogue line. I then literally duplicate the exact same copy and I put a question. And then maybe another one, I put a statement. And so like I'll have like a dialogue that says like, for the anxiety ones on the top of my mind. So, you know, I've tried CBD, I've tried everything, but nothing works, right? And then this is a true story. And then I'd say another one is the real reason people are anxious is because their subconscious mind is holding them hostage. And then it's the exact same supporting copy below that. And so what you can do is you can write one really good ad and then have 5 different sound bites or head turners at the top. And then what you can do is have a few different headlines and literally throw in a bunch of images and videos or whatever you want to test and let that baby run.
Wow. So all those parameters. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
so cool. All those parameters, Facebook will put them together in whatever order as they test, as the Facebook algorithm spits this ad out there, it will see which ones are responding to which audiences and put those together correctly.
Exactly. And so the way to do that is there's a way in your ad set settings, which is where you choose your audiences and stuff. There's just a little checkbox that says turn on dynamic creative. And then when you go to your ad, you can set that up. This is also a really good way because I like to do like $150 tests. And so you know, I'm not someone that's like, oh yeah, let's just go spend like $3,000 of your money and hope we get a sale, you know,
please,
which so many, and that's where you get the horror stories of agencies. And so what I do is I do a $150 test. And the nice thing is you can then look and see like, okay, well, did we get an opt-in or a sale? Yes or no? And if the answer is no, then it's like, okay, well, what was the headline or the, you know, the hook or whatever that worked the best? And then it's like, oh, okay, this image seems to be still getting a lower cost per click. And this one, you know, is doing better than these ones. And so then you can kind of like make some assumptions and do another really informed round of testing. So I use it as a testing and a scaling tool. It works extremely well. And again, there's so much more you can kind of break this stuff off to. I just like to do it the easy way, where I'll just set up these dynamic creative ads. I'll let them run. And if I want to create new variations, I might duplicate it and throw in 10 new images and videos and maybe change a few things. And it looks like brand new ads.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so take me through, because I know Facebook Messenger, they all change quite often. So take me through how long, so how long has this particular format been working for you?
Oh, I would say since I've been advertising like 2-3 years at this point.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So the difference is probably when you started, Facebook didn't have this dynamic portion, right? You had to do that manually.
Yes, it was a little bit more manual. The feature's actually been there for a long time. I just don't think people know about it, or they don't know how to use it properly. And I think a lot of people, they get trapped in the idea that, okay, well, if I'm going to use this dynamic creative ad style, then I have to write like 5 very different ads. And it's like, no, just change the top part, which is like, I've done tests and you can see that there's a difference, literally the exact same ad copy. The only thing that's different is that first line at the top, and you get dramatically different results based on that. So you don't have to write a new ad. You literally just have to change the top head turner, and you have a brand new ad that you can play with.
Wow. And so Zac, you teach people, this is what your, one of the things that your coaching practice is going to teach people how to do. Is that right?
Yeah, so this is part of it, because when we work with clients, like the core thing, I used to do all this for clients, and I really want to expand our impact now to just help more people, because we used to charge a heck of a lot of money and it was just unaffordable for a lot of people. And so kind of the core things that we work with one-on-one with people is helping them like plan out what that micro offer is. We're going to actually like build the funnel completely done for them, excluding the copy, which I work one-on-one with them. And then we're going to launch it, whether that's to their list or whoever, and then we're going to actually scale it. And that's where I teach all these frameworks and just work with people one-on-one to really get this right. Because, you know, I've found that if you just write one really good ad, like I still have, for context, Perfect example. I have another client that I did some work with, and I said, hey, I don't want to do the retainer thing. I'm actually moving to this coaching model. And so he's literally just left this ad running for 5 months, and it's still running today, bringing in sales for like 5 months straight. Like, so, and he's like, I'm heading off to Indonesia. Like, should I worry about the ads? And I'm like, no, you're good, man. Just like maybe lower the budget a little bit if you don't want to pay attention. But he's like, yeah, we're still getting sales every day. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Oh my gosh.
So my goal, like inside the coaching program, is to really just help people build the system, which I call sell while you sleep. And it's the idea that you want to be able to have the freedom and flexibility to innovate and be able to expand on what you do. So it's like, let's put a system together where you don't have to be thinking about lead gen 24/7. Let's put a system together where you can just focus on serving the clients to your best of your ability, and you have that automatically taken care of for you.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So guys, I got to be honest here. I have tried Facebook ads, I think probably 4 or 5 times in the past, for both, well, not really for messenger funnels, but definitely for Bot Academy. And only once did they work to actually be profitable for me and actually bring me sales. Either they got me 0 sales, and I didn't do them. I hired someone to do them. Okay. You already know that Facebook ads are a black box for me. So I'm not doing it myself. I'm not touching it. So I hired an agency, and only once did an agency actually bring results and actually make a sale. Not only make a sale, but be profitable with those sales. So I think I'm going to need to take you up on this. I'm serious. I'm not joking.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah. So people, if this is something, if Zac has just convinced me to actually rethink using Facebook ads, which I had already signed off, I'm like, never again. Never. Why would I waste another 10 grand, another 5 grand, another whatever grand I'm talking about, another penny on Facebook ads when 1 out of 5 times did it actually work? So
yeah. And I don't blame you. You're not the only one. Like it's so common. And I think a lot of it is because a lot of people, they try the wrong sales mechanism that doesn't work for their personality. And for context on this, I don't know what kind of funnels you were using or anything on that side, but a lot of the times it's like, I will see people who are trying to do webinars who should just absolutely not be doing cold webinars, because unless you are like a legendary presenter, a webinar to cold traffic will not work for you unless you like have either buckets of money to hire like one of the best copywriters in the world to write you a really damn good webinar, or you're just naturally a really good presenter. And so it's like, you have to choose the strategy that actually aligns with your personality type rather than listening to some guru talk about the new thing. That's like the wrong way to do it.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, completely. I got to say that, but even I agree with you 100%. The funnel makes a big difference, but the, just even the approach to, again, be playful with ads and allow yourself to offer up these other options and different headings. And I love hooks, absolutely love hooks. I love alliteration, asking questions. All those things are amazing to me. I have a lot of fun with them. But if you have fun with it and you're not looking at this like, okay, I'm going to put $1,000 into here and I better get X amount back, because if I don't, then this just didn't work, right? If you have fun with it, you're not going to be in that mind space, which that mind space is not going to work anyway. There's going to be lots of other barriers you got to try and get over if you're thinking that, right?
Exactly. And okay, perfect example of that was that client who I talked about, who's now had his ads running for months. When we first started working together and we launched this thing, it didn't work as we wanted to when we first launched it. And it took like, I think we spent maybe $200 or $300 on ads, so not a ton of money, but a good amount of money, to really test the thing and get it working. And then it wasn't until I went through and like made a few changes to the sales page that it went from like a 1% to like a 5% conversion rate. And then it's like, okay, smooth sailing, let's just go. So, and also testing different ad copy and stuff, right? So you do have to go into this with a playful idea, in the sense that, okay, it's, if it works the first time, amazing, but I might have to make some alterations and look at a little bit of data and just say, oh, okay, is like, there's so many free tools out there like Microsoft Clarity you can install on your website, and you can see like a free heat map of where everyone is stalling on the page, right? Like you can have, there's so many resources now that you can get very accurate about what is not working and what is working, to really make it, because yeah, it might take you one or two times, right? And normally for me, it normally takes, I would say, like at least two until something like is like we're scaling it like crazy. Work a little bit, and then it's like, okay, we need to make a few changes, and it will normally just pick up after that, because we're just able to look at the data and have fun, right? And play around with different ideas. So go into that with like, as a scientist, right? That's the way I always look at it.
Wow. All right. So I don't know if I have a feeling most of the people listening are probably going to have to get through this episode, stop it, and then go back and listen again so that they can take pieces out of it, because you went deep. You went into some really specific things and some specific places. And that's fantastic, because that's what this whole strategy and tactics episode is all about. We've talked about mindset. We've talked about all these ethereal things, all these intangible things. And now let's apply that to actually how we can take tangible things and impact our business with it. Because we need both. Business doesn't grow just by mindset or just by impact. You also need the details, the things that are actually going to move your business forward. Wow. Okay. So what would you say is the biggest, or is this Evergreen Ads the biggest, has this made the biggest impact in your business personally and your clients, or is there something else tactically that made a huge difference?
I think tactically, I mean, honestly, it's all copy. Like being able to understand copy and offers. And that's just from, I mean, I'm not, and I wouldn't say I'm like an A-list copywriter by any means, but I can look at a lot of different really high performing sales copy and get ideas and pull stuff from there. And so I would say it's like understanding marketing and persuasion is like the number one skill you could possibly have. And especially because when you're growing to $1 million, like $1 million a year business, like it's all just sales and marketing. That's all you need to focus on. So I'm super grateful that I was able to train my chops and learn that. And I would say, like, if you wanted to learn, like the easiest thing you could do is just put out more offers and play, rather than trying to like buy a copywriting course or any of that. Yes, they help, but it's all about just reading copy, understanding it. I would say that would be the biggest lever, because the Evergreen Ads, they work because of the frameworks I was able to understand from reading other pieces of copy and really understanding psychology and how people operate.
Yeah. And that's a wonderful point, because really what you're talking about is understanding the pain of the person you're trying to serve. And that's what marketing is. If you understand the difficulty they're having that your product or service solves, if you understand that at a deep level, understand the way that person communicates, the way it impacts them in their daily lives, then you can speak to that and you can write copy. Have you used any programs like Jasper at all to write copy?
I've tried, it just doesn't work for me. And I actually just signed up again because I was working on more of a content piece. And, I think it's really powerful what you can do with it. And there's probably like I know some people out there that have gone like all the way in on Jasper and are able to get really good copy from it. Just for me, it's like, I just don't want to kind of go through that process. I think Jasper, I see it more as almost like an idea generator. Because I think the way like the AI is so damn good, if you just, especially boss mode, where you're like, hey, give me a few ideas on this, and it will like pump out a few different ideas, and you're like, I never thought of that one. So I would probably, for me, if I was to integrate it more into my workflow, I would use it more as an idea generator to get the ball rolling. But I normally, like for copy, I normally just go through client application forms or Amazon book reviews. Those are kind of my go-to pieces, rather than trying to like use Jasper's AI, especially because I like to tell a lot of stories, and I haven't played with the story in Jasper.
Yeah.
I should.
Yeah.
But like metaphors and stories are so damn good, because when you can put a picture in someone's mind, which is the hardest thing with info products, e-commerce, it's super easy. Here's a picture of something, like this is what I'm selling you, right? For info and for anything coaching related, it's intangible. So you need to be able to put a picture in someone's mind to show them exactly how this thing will help them, or else it's just confusing. And then it's just a bunch of words on a screen.
Yes. Amen. Amen. Absolutely. All right. So we have talked about so many amazing things. Thank you, Zac, for taking us through that journey into strategy. I knew, and tactics, I knew that you and I would be able to talk a long time about that.
Yes, for sure.
So I'm
we'll do
have
round 2 in the future.
I know. It's so hard. But really, I agree 100% with the copy. I agree with everything you just talked about. And thank you so much for sharing that framework, that evergreen ad framework, and showing me that it actually is possible. I know people say it all the time. I've been to Funnel Hacking Live. Everybody's done ads. I get it. But it just, I don't care how much you say it out there, until I see it in action and success in my business, I'm not going to believe you. I'm going to say, go ahead and go and do your own thing. That's fine. But it just, I'm going to still have that block saying it doesn't work for me. So I think you've opened that. I think you've put a crack in that block for me, that dam.
Then I've done my job.
And hopefully we'll be able to break through it and get it to work. So, cause I want to impact more people too. And I want to be able to do that through, hopefully with ads, and in addition to the organic ways that I already do it. So thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing that incredible knowledge with us.
It was my pleasure. And thank you so much for having me here. It was a lot of fun.
Okay, hold on. If your mindset was shifted, you were inspired to innovate, and you were spurred into action, don't just move on with your day. Focus, my friend, and take a few minutes to visit CEOmischiefmaker.com to learn more about the value that was shared with you today. Please act now and create some CEO mischief of your own.